Hello, my name is Skylar.
And my name is Tyler. I pay respects to the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation where Dad's podcast is recorded.
I live on Bunjil land. I believe Bunjil is the creator of land, of our first peoples. He is the creator of the land of where I am right now.
I pay my respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples.
This land always was and always will be Aboriginal land.
Hello and welcome to Over the Rainbow, a podcast series dedicated to all things Rainbow Dads. This week I am chatting with Luke and Darren, who went through international surrogacy in the States. They tell me about how it all started and the steps through to receiving their beautiful son. There is a really interesting revelation in the chat that we have together that will make your jaw drop. Mine certainly did. Suffice to say, it centres around the egg donor and sibling matches. Sometimes they can be closer than you ever imagined. Take a listen. Hello and welcome to today's episode. Sitting in front of me, I have two lovely gentlemen. I have Luke and Darren. Thanks so much for coming, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
All right, let's start with, I want to refrain from saying icebreaker, but let's just soften the mood. Luke, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I'm 43, obviously married to Darren, father of Dustin, and I work in finance, and I've lived in Melbourne for 20 odd years,
right.
Originally from New South Wales, and have never gotten used to the Melbourne weather, if anyone wants to know.
I don't think anyone can get used to it.
I'm actually from northern New South Wales, so we had long summers and short winters. Yeah, what else?
Amazing. No, that's good, that's good. And Darren?
So I'm turning 50 soon.
Oh, big party?
Well, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I'd rather go
surprise party.
No. I'd rather go overseas, but with a little guy and to be that long away from everyone else.
Well, you never know.
Yeah.
Maybe Luke's got something planned
maybe,
overseas.
yeah. I wish.
He's shaking his head. Shut up, Murray.
So, turning 50. Got a little guy now. I'm obviously, married to Luke. I've always lived in Melbourne my whole life. I can't get used to the weather.
Yeah.
I don't like it at all. And I also work in finance, different parts of finance, but I'm in there. Done that probably now about 10 years. Before that, I was a flight attendant for about 10 years.
Okay.
So my dream, it would be to go back to be flying again.
Yes.
But as I said, we've got now Dusty, so things change.
Yes.
And
The
that's
life
where we are
of
at the
a
moment.
parent, which is what we're going to unpack today. So both you, Luke and Darren, you guys had Dustin through international surrogacy through the US. I'm really interested. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the steps of how you had Dustin. And I think it's really good to explore this from the US perspective, because for a lot of people, it's seen as the gold standard. And that's because it's a fully fledged business over there. And we can sort of unpack the pros and cons to that. Let's start with going back, rewinding the clock of when, what was the discussion around wanting to start the process to have Dustin?
Well, I'll go there. Luke just out of the blue just said, he's always wanted kids. And it's just like, we'd never really spoken about it.
Yeah, right.
And for me, being a gay man, I never, a European background as well, I never even thought about it.
Yeah.
And it was really just.
He just dropped a bomb.
Just a bomb. Yeah. And then, days,
what did
weeks.
You say?
Well,
Squeeze me?
I'll provide a little bit of context. It wasn't just a
I was
bomb.
hungover, reassessing my life choices.
I'm surprised he actually said that it was like dropping a bomb, because we had talked about it before. And only 6 months earlier, we had a friend offer to do surrogacy,
Okay.
traditional surrogacy.
Like altruistic surrogacy.
Yeah, so her egg, and she was going to carry it.
Yeah.
But she went to the medical, like she went for a medical exam, and always have this joke because she's a good friend of ours, and we always have a nice laugh about it. But she was told she had an incompetent cervix. She goes, could they use a better term? I mean, incompetent. It's like, okay, non-functioning or something, but incompetent, it's such a, it's exactly what a woman wants to hear. And the chances of her carrying a baby to full term was less than 5%.
Right.
So that was out.
Yeah,
we talked about that.
Yeah, but I always thought
then
that would never happen.
Yes. So you didn't take it seriously anyway?
not at all.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess I could say I then shelved it. So that might have been in February.
Yes.
Correct.
But then in May, friends of ours, they had the birth of their child in Cambodia.
Okay.
And so then it sort of all brought up these feelings again, and I started to think through, how we could do it, how much it might cost and all that. So that's sort of that's when I dropped sort of that bomb. But
I feel like the car ride home will be. I've never heard you describe it as dropping a bomb.
I know.
Everyone knows how I feel. I've come around now.
Yes.
Obviously.
Yeah. But it was the start of the journey, so to speak.
Yeah.
Well, that's really interesting, Luke, that you say that in terms of you saw some other friends that had it in another country, Cambodia, and that made you sort of start to do some research. What did that research look like?
So I talked to them, obviously, and I guess the first thing in my mind was that they were stuck in Cambodia for quite some time.
Yeah.
Their journey took many years.
Yeah, that's only half of it.
They started in Thailand, then, all that controversy happened in Thailand. They moved the embryos to, I think, then Nepal.
Yeah.
And then that got shut down, and then they eventually got into Cambodia and managed to have a baby there.
Yeah.
But then they were stuck there. Yeah. So they had to do some creative things to
them and a lot of other couples, I would imagine.
Yeah. To get the baby, to get their son out of the country. So obviously that was not an option for us. And they honestly said, it was an option for them because they'd already had
they had no choice, did they?
Correct. Yeah.
But you saw that as, if we're going to do this, we need to do it the right way.
Well,
or do it a different way.
Correct,
that is less risky.
Less stressful way.
Yeah,
so that was when I started researching on the internet, just by like Googling. There were a few groups around, a few Facebook groups, but I didn't actually join those till later. But the first avenue I started researching was Mexico.
Okay.
It was just sort of starting, and a company called Miracle Surrogacy, and I had quite a few chats with, I think his name was Brian, I can't remember, but anyway, the guy that owns the company, and had quite a few chats around the process, the costing, the different options. You can use, an American egg donor. You have to fly them to Mexico. You can use a Mexican donor. It's obviously a lot cheaper. There was lots of different options to minimize the costs.
Yeah.
And the first thing in my mind was, am I going to be stuck in Mexico like my friends were stuck in Cambodia?
Yeah.
And that was a real concern. And then I found out about another company who was actually guaranteeing that the baby would be, you do it through Mexico, but the baby is born in California.
Oh, okay.
So they basically smuggle these surrogates across the border just before birth.
Is that what they actually say, or is that just what's implied?
Well, it's implied. They say that they go on a little holiday. Probably about 3 months before the birth, because I doubt that they would get
You were able to fly.
tourist visa.
Or even able to fly after.
No,
after
they
certain
drive
amount
them
of-
across. They drive them across,
Yeah.
into San Diego. And the
But
baby's
anyway,
born.
for you, that was like, nah. Red flag.
was a red flag. Yeah.
Okay. And then, so you did some other, so then did you guys sit down and have a chat and say, you know what, if we're going to do this, the only way to do this is through the US?
So I said that if this is going to happen, it's probably it will cost us more at the end.
Yeah.
But we've learnt from these other, especially our friends.
Yeah.
Do we want that stress?
Yes.
As well?
Yeah.
And it could end up costing more because I think for our friends over time, they probably just spent just as much as we did.
Yeah.
And we really got like a textbook baby out of this.
Okay.
Like we were lucky, very lucky.
Yeah.
I mean, it still comes down to luck and all that stuff. But that's what I said. Let's just do it right the first time.
We also looked at Canada. So then we decided, okay, we'll do either Canada or the US. Canada being a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
But then that's when I started joining the Facebook groups to get research on the Canadian, which is similar to Australia. So you cannot pay for a surrogate.
Yeah.
So
And I'm not sure the order that these episodes will be released, but I've spoken to two dads who did altruistic surrogacy in Canada.
Yeah.
And it's a fascinating chat in terms of, is it altruistic?
it's it's a little bit. Yeah, correct.
Is it disguised with, people are making the money, but they disguise it
in
as
another way.
fees.
We're not smart enough here yet to do it in Australia.
Yeah.
But they do.
Well, we're always slow with everything, aren't we? Yeah.
Well, we're a nanny state,
Exactly.
aren't we? But
This is why we've had to do this.
Yes. Yeah.
why we cannot reasonably compensate a woman who does this amazing gift for us, I don't know. I think that's ridiculous. But anyway, that's probably for a topic for another time. What was put to me when I talked to a few of the agencies in Canada was that you'll probably be waiting 12 to 18 months for matching with a surrogate. So we, by then I was nearly 38.
Yeah.
He was in his mid 40s and he's like, we don't have time to wait now.
Yeah.
If we're going to do it, let's do it like now.
Yeah.
And we knew that the process could be done quite speedily in LA.
Right.
So that's when we started to.
So you ruled out every other country and you said, right, let's do it through the US.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And then did you interview some companies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we started talking with one company or the owner of that company, and he was actually based so he's American, but he lives in Barcelona.
Yeah.
And we just happened to be having an overseas trip to Malta bit later that year, and Barcelona was on that itinerary. So we actually went and met him, went to his house.
Yeah. Was it Sidges? we go to Sidges or something?
Yeah, so we sat down with him, went to his house. He went through his whole process. And he sort of, because he's based in Barcelona, so what he does is he uses the help of another agency, but so you use his costing, so his pricing, so the other agency cannot overcharge.
What do you mean by that? Break that down for if someone's not gone through that.
So his costing was a lot cheaper than essentially we used two agencies who work together.
Right.
One,
and is that for embryo?
No, so for the whole program. So Sensible Surrogacy was the guy in Barcelona, and he's a lot more affordable. So his professional or consultation fee was $10,000 versus LA Surrogacy, which was the other company that he works with, who charged $30,000. So
I would imagine that cost would be geographical, right? The fact that he's in Barcelona perhaps versus being in LA?
Maybe.
Correct, yeah. And he splits that fee with LA, but LA cannot, like the LA surrogacy guy, Jeff, he could not
go for the difference
or charge us a separate fee or anything like that.
Right. Yeah.
So, so it was good. I highly recommend him. Whenever anyone reaches out to me on Facebook, I always say, go to Sensible. He's now got programs. He only was doing LA at that time, West Coast.
Yeah.
However, he's now got more affordable programs in the Midwest, in Missouri. He also has one in Rhode Island because, over time, other states become more liberal and loosen up their surrogacy laws and things like that.
Yeah.
So we said, okay, let's do it. We signed contracts with him.
So the 10,000 was just the consultation?
Was like their management fee of the entire program. Yeah.
And so what kind of package was he trying to sell? Was it different packages or, if you sign on for this package, we guarantee was it guaranteed child back then?
No, not
because they're doing that now.
Yeah. So no guarantee. However, they gave us a lot of statistics based on the fertility clinic that they used, which was
Expecting?
No, that's the egg donor company. Oh. I can't remember. I can get that for you at another time.
That's all right. But it was good statistics, obviously.
Yeah,
he was saying.
Yeah. So he had a huge success rate, like 80% first time. Obviously, they talk you through the quality of the egg donor is extremely important. We chose an egg donor that had previously donated, had already had children from those donations. Yeah. 4 times actually. So she was quite expensive. We paid $10,000 just for the egg donor. Right. US. This is all in US dollars, by the way. So, but she was a very well-proven egg donor, and he, the doctor that we used at this clinic, he just had a very high success rate. He sort of, his bedside manner is pretty bad, but
what do you mean by that?
Well, really, he's just very gruff. Like he's a businessman, really.
Yeah. Okay.
We sat down with him for maybe 5 minutes.
Goes, do you want 1 or 2?
Yeah, okay.
Sip, that's
very
great.
transactional.
He said, if you want one or do you want twins?
I'll get you whatever you
because
want.
if you want twins, I'll get you twins. My success rate is so high. If we put in 2, you'll probably get twins.
Was that a bit confronting?
Oh, yeah, I nearly fell on the floor.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that Darren said to me right from the start was that if we do this, we are not having twins. Unless it just miraculously one turns into twins, and obviously we have twins, but we are not going to set out to have twins.
I meant, was it more confronting that we're talking actually a baby and it's talking about it in a business sense?
Correct. Yeah, that's correct.
Do you want 1? Do you want 2?
Correct.
I can get you whatever you want.
I just
and it's
sat
like,
there.
we're dealing with life here.
Yeah.
By that stage, we'd sort of
it was still
had that many.
to me.
Yes.
Yeah, it wasn't really from.
We knew this was a process, and but it was like, I don't know. Do you want 1 or 2 cars?
Yes. Yeah.
It was sort of. I mean.
Well, there's 2 schools of thought with it, really. You can look at it like that. You can be sort of confronted with it. And then you can look at it on it's not like we can make a baby ourselves.
Correct.
This is the pathway that we have to take.
Yeah, that's right.
And this is what we've chosen. So it's going to be different.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I think he needs to know that we know what we're doing. Like, we know this is how it's done. I don't think he wanted to get personal in any way because it wasn't that.
Yes.
It was, this is a process.
Yes.
And this is part 3 of 10 of the process.
Yeah.
This is, you want it or you don't.
Yes,
He probably needed to be confident in himself.
Yeah.
That we were ready for this.
Yeah.
So.
And get down to business.
That's right.
Yeah. And he knew the donor that we selected. He'd already worked with her.
Yeah.
So that's why he was so confident.
Yes.
In, his ability to get us
what you wanted.
A baby.
What we wanted.
Yeah. So that was sort of the process. And we met him, obviously we had to make one trip to the US to deliver the goods.
Yeah.
Drop off
our goods. And we met.
So how was this all? So you were in Barcelona and you were like, okay, we feel really comfortable with you. We're going to sign on with you. And he said the process is this. I'll coordinate everything. Yeah.
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 So we signed contracts and then basically it was, okay, here's a company that does egg donors.
Yeah.
He said, the quicker you can find you select your egg donor, then the quicker we can get things in progress.
Get things going.
Because we said we basically want to have a baby sort of, we want to be pregnant sort of within a year.
Yeah. God, yeah, you wouldn't want to drag it out too long, hey?
Yeah.
No, it was quick though.
We were pregnant within about 6 months.
It was very quick.
Okay. Too quick?
That was actually
Darren's nodding.
No comment.
we could have been pregnant.
What's going on?
We could have been pregnant earlier. That was because we could not get to the States.
Yes, to drop off your goods.
Correct, until February. So he kept the agency. He kept saying, "Can't you come earlier? Can't you come? Well, can't you come earlier?" Technically,
Well, I can.
We
and
should
I can't.
have. We should have, because it ended up being a December baby, which is, you got Christmas and December.
I'm a
It's just,
January baby. You always
I'm a
get.
January baby.
Are you really?
It's just too much.
Yeah, you get. It was always. Oh, do you want a combined gift?
Yeah.
No, I want separate
Yeah.
gifts. Thanks very much.
We didn't. That's the only thing we really didn't think about.
Yeah, so it happened all pretty quick. So yeah, then we got matched with we selected an egg donor.
Yeah.
And we said, look, she wouldn't need to be available until February. So this might have been September.
What was the egg donor process like?
It was pretty like it was.
Well, we went there for that.
We went through. Yeah, but the eggs, us selecting the process.
Oh,
you mean?
sorry, selection.
They gave us a password, which gave us access to a database, and we just went through. And I was just flicking through, and as soon as I saw her, I said to Darren, "I found her." I said, "This is her." And
Wow!
I showed him.
It was an instant reaction. Wow!
Yeah. Okay. And I said, "This is going to be the mother of our mother." Biological mother.
Cut that.
Well, I mean, it's an interesting.
The biological mother of our baby.
Yeah.
This is going to be the woman that
Yeah.
because just something about I felt, and then reading through her
profiles
and stuff was very detailed information.
But it
about
spoke
her.
to you.
Yeah.
It spoke to you, and you felt there was an attraction there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And so
And does she? So when you could help me with the process, so you select her, she doesn't select you, because it's the other way around with altruistic.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
she'd need to know something about us.
she can turn us down.
Yeah. Okay.
But essentially, she wants the money. Like, she's getting a big fee for this.
Yeah.
For her, it all comes around the timing. So whether the timing works for her. So she has to take a few weeks off work because, she's got to go in and she's got to, have injections and things like that. So the first thing she had to, when we selected her, the first thing was she has to find out whether she can get time off work. So then she came back and said, yes, she can get the time off work. And she likes you guys. Like, we give her a bit of information about us. And so she's happy if you want to pay the deposit. And
Can I ask how much that is? The
deposit?
Yeah, or her fee.
Oh, her fee was $10,000 US.
Fee 10,000. And do you reckon she gets that 10,000?
She gets that $10,000.
She gets it all.
Yeah.
Because we're paying the agency and everyone else separately.
Because we paid a lot more.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So we paid the agency, I can't remember, but probably $2,500.
And this was 6 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I wonder whether that would be more now. I bet you it is.
I know she got $12,000 the next time after
for her,
us.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But they can only do so much as well. So
She's
probably coming to
done
the
now.
end.
It's
of
time
her-
limited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She would have to go to another country to
do it.
again.
Oh, because that's the law, is it?
In
You can-
America, you can only donate 5 times.
5 times. Yeah, I was going to say.
Because of the too many of your offspring out there, there might be a chance that
If they meet up.
meet and get married.
Oh, yeah.
And there's stories about that brother and sister have.
Well,
they draw,
I mean, Luke, we will get to that little fun fact, won't we?
we'll get to that.
Yeah, that's actually true.
Yeah.
But so she's done now, unless she moved to another country, she could probably do it.
Okay, and so you get the eggs and then the surrogate. What about that?
The surrogate was a little bit more of a process. So they gave us 3 profiles. One was, as a woman, she was in her late 30s.
Yeah.
There was a woman that was in her mid 20s, and there was a very young woman. She was only 21, and she was a single mother with a 3-year-old. And we read through. We go, we don't know. Like, what is your recommendation? And they said, oh, look, for maturity wise, we would probably recommend the one in her late 30s because, they've just got they're similar age to you.
Yeah.
You'd probably get along with her and all that.
Because that's really, you're going on a journey with her.
Correct.
Yeah, than anything else. Yeah.
So, she was a single mother as well, but she had a grown-up child. So she had a 20-year-old. So she had a baby when she was 18 and then none since.
Oh, wow.
And they said,
Did you ever, was it purely, I mean, I was about to answer. Was it purely financial, do you think, for her, or was it other stuff?
probably financial. But there was a hiccup.
Yeah.
So we picked her. Yeah. And then what they do is they schedule some Zoom meetings so that you can talk to them and get to know them a bit. And so we scheduled a Zoom meeting, but before that Zoom meeting occurred, Darren got this weird message on Facebook.
Messenger.
On Messenger.
From her mum.
Oh, God.
So her mother tracked him down because he's got a strange surname, so he was easy to find, and sent him a message saying, my daughter's going to have a baby for you. I just want to pray that, I want to know about you, that you're, like it was just, it was a major red flag. We sent screenshots of it to our agency and they dropped her immediately. They said, nah, we've cut her off completely. She is not going to be you can't select her now.
Yes.
That is a huge red flag. We've given her the advice that if she tries another agency,
not to let that happen again.
That you keep your mother
out of it.
God, you wouldn't want to be a fly, or would you want to be a fly on the wall whoa.
I mean, if she was that intrusive just before we'd even met
to actually
her,
track you down.
Could you imagine that she would have been involved in every single part of this pregnancy?
What's the laws like over there in terms of, here, if it's altruistic surrogacy or surrogacy that happens here, it's the surrogate, even if it's a different egg, it's the surrogate that is classified as the...
No, it's all done through the courts before.
The mother.
This is all going through the courts while we, as we're doing every process.
Right. So there's no, what I'm trying to suggest is there's no claim that surrogate could have made,
no way.
I want to keep this child.
No.
Yeah. Well, that's just self-reassuring, isn't it?
Yeah, but we didn't want that hassle of maybe.
Oh, for sure.
That was one of the main reasons why we selected California over, perhaps
Canada.
Canada. Chicago was also doing surrogacy at the time, and not Chicago, Illinois, I should say, the state, and also Texas as well. But they had different laws. But what California has is they do a pre-birth, they go to court, or they don't even go to court. They just lodge a thing, and it's essentially granted by the judge before the baby's even born. Yeah. And then as soon as the baby's born, on the birth certificate, both men are on the birth certificate.
That's great.
It's parent wonderful. 1 and parent 2.
Amazing.
There's no father, mother. It's just parent 1, parent 2.
Yeah.
And that was probably the biggest draw card for us.
Yeah,
because, the ability to be able to have a birth certificate with our names.
For sure. So she got dropped and you had to select another.
So then we had to select another, and we said, look, send over a few more profiles. So they sent a few more profiles and we selected another one. She had a couple of young kids, husband, all seemed good on paper. Yeah. And but there was one little thing that just, because they disclose a lot of information, and one was something legal. I can't remember if it was a felony or a misdemeanor.
What was it?
Anyway, so I inquired about that, and they said, oh, yeah, it's related to child abuse.
What?
I don't even know how part they got into their bios.
I don't know either myself. Apparently,
at this stage, were you saying, what the hell is it with this place?
2 out of 2.
Yeah.
So after that, we went, you know what? Originally, my gut feel was the 21-year-old.
Yeah.
Struggling single mother. She did disclose she wanted it for a college fund for her child.
Okay.
Good motivation.
Yes.
Yeah, just, pull those strings. She could have said anything,
So you're a bit more skeptical?
She was Mexican, but an American permanent resident. Yeah. And we said, look, you know what? Let's just meet her. Yeah. So we met her. She was very quiet, but, it was all very pleasant. and we just said, you know what, we're spending too much. We're spending too much time on this. It's important to pick the right person, but you're never really going to know these people
absolutely.
over a Zoom call.
Absolutely.
You know, they do go through psychological testing. They go through counselling, and there is a background check done and all that. So everything she had was all clear. It was all good. So the next step was sending her to our doctor, our fertility doctor, and if he says no, she's good, she's healthy, then it'll
Good
be
to
a
go.
yes.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
Okay.
And we picked her, and yeah, I mean,
It was good.
So you came over and you came and dropped your stuff.
yeah. Yeah, the egg donor was there around the same time, but we didn't meet her because she was an anonymous.
You're supposed to be.
Supposed to be anonymous.
Yes, right,
yeah.
okay.
And then a month later, we were pregnant.
What was that like? Where were you? Back in Melbourne?
Back in Melbourne.
We were in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Yeah. So first try, we did.
Does someone make a call or do they send an email or how does it work?
know.
It was
What
just
was it
an
actually?
email.
It was an email, you are pregnant.
Yeah. They do the blood tests, and it's very early days. So they test 5 days after implantation.
Yes, yeah.
So it's early. So it's like,
And
hopes
it's-
were like, it was.
It's like at this
Just let's
stage.
wait. Yeah.
At this stage, it's a good blood reading. It's good hormone level. We'll test again in a week.
And so what was that like, guys? Let's sit with that.
We just celebrated it like it was a pregnancy. We didn't, in our minds, we were like, let's not
Get too ahead of
keep it a
ourselves.
Yes.
And,
No.
But also not to get ahead of ourselves. So
We told everyone.
just.
I
Yeah, you did. I didn't.
Darren's like, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
let's-
Luke's like,
I
I told
told
everybody.
Yeah, you did. I know. It's
I didn't
crazy.
post it on Facebook until
luckily.
until we were about 6 weeks along.
Okay.
But we got married a couple of weeks later, and we told everyone at the wedding.
Oh, okay. That's beautiful.
And I just thought, you know what? If something happens, it happens. We're going to try again anyway.
Yeah,
so
of
I don't
course.
care.
You
I'm
just-
going
you
to tell
celebrate-
everyone.
yeah.
I'm going to be happy in the moment.
Yes, for sure.
You know?
For sure. It's just it's a little insight into
Yeah.
into
We think
each
very
of you.
different. We do think very differently. Yeah.
Yeah. Even
Luke, I told everyone.
even his mum, like, because we told our parents straight. Well, my mum been passed a long time, but I rang my dad, told him, and he told his parents, and we knew at the time that we're having a boy as well.
Okay.
And because the fertility clinic told us that they implanted a boy. We asked them to tell us which one they implanted. We had boys and girls.
So it's gender selection.
We didn't select.
Not really.
But-
It was in order of, they put them in a rank
Okay.
of viable.
Oh, the strongest. Yeah. Right. Okay.
Thank God he was up the top.
Yeah.
We didn't.
I just find it easier to bring a boy up. I don't know.
We did genetic testing, which the genetic testing reveals their gender.
Yeah. Right.
So we didn't say we want gender selection.
For sure.
We just
Yeah,
said
yeah.
we want to know,
Which one you're putting in?
Yeah. Yeah.
are they? No, we want to know whether any have any Down syndrome or
Yes,
all
for
those
sure,
sorts
for
of
sure.
genetic disease.
Yeah.
And there were actually we did have 3 embryos that had one had Down syndrome, one had a disease called Kleffner. So there were 3 that were not suitable.
Right.
But out of that, they also know the genders of the others. So we asked them once we were pregnant, what did you put in, a boy or a girl? And they told us straight away. That way we didn't have to wait whatever 12 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we knew we were having a boy, and we told them that. And yeah, it was.
So you're pregnant, right? So you're trying to go about your everyday life here. What's it like having the distance between you? Do you feel a little bit removed?
Yeah. Yeah. It was not like real.
Yeah,
Like,
it's not real. It's like, oh, on the other side of the world,
Yeah.
our son.
I had a lot of panic attacks during it, particularly if I send her a message and she doesn't respond in
Straight away.
a day or two.
Yeah, yeah.
I start thinking straight away, is she going to
Run off
run
with it.
off with my baby?
Yeah, but that's a real. a real feeling, and I can imagine, because you would be almost powerless, right?
You are.
Yes, yeah.
And we were just communicating via WhatsApp.
Do you get any counselling or anything?
No, we didn't.
No. That's a real significant difference between altruistic and paid surrogacy. Altruistic really say
They probably should bring it in.
Yeah.
They probably should. Because, I mean, if he's having panic attacks, you know, I mean.
And how did you deal with that, Luke?
Well, eventually she
text.
She would text me back, and she'd be like, "Sorry, I have got a 3-year-old, and it's just things
15 hours behind,
and I
whatever,
forget."
anyway.
Yeah, that's right. Sometimes I'd text during the day, and I have to remind myself that
She's
it's
asleep.
in the middle of the night.
Yeah. Was he MS, Darren?
No, it wasn't.
Nah, not really. He
was all right.
No.
There was one day I was going into work. I was on the tram into work, and I actually had to go to we were doing an offsite, so an event, and I was an assistant to GM at the time. So I organised the event, and I had to run the event and make sure catering was done, all that. And she texted me and she said, she was about 15 weeks at this stage, and she said, I've been having some pains. And I said, please go to the hospital. And she said, yeah, I'm actually already at the hospital and I'm just waiting. So then I had to go to work pretending that nothing was wrong.
Wow.
And inside I was like just so panicked.
Yes.
I don't even think I told you straight away because I knew he'd be. So I told him later that night. Yeah. And I kept texting her like every hour, like, what's happening? And she's like, I'm still waiting. And she was waiting. They made her wait about 5 to 6 hours.
Wow.
And then they did an ultrasound and they said, it's just Braxton Hicks.
How far that wasn't at the start? I thought that was at
15 weeks. 15, 16. She was about 4 months.
But what that would have highlighted there is the distance.
Because that happened again. Yeah, that happened again at the end, didn't it? Remember?
Oh, she was getting them all the time. Yeah.
We thought we had to go there earlier, to LA, and it's like we can't do it. But it's like we can't.
Yeah.
But eventually she went through the terms and
it was textbook. She never had any problems apart from that. Which, if she'd been older and more mature, she might have just said, "Oh, actually, I did have these when I was pregnant the first time." But
she might not have had them when she was pregnant.
She might
the first
not
time,
have.
so it's probably new to her.
every process is unique. Though,
Yeah.
So tell me about Dustin being born. You went over he was a December baby, so you went
end of November. 2 weeks before, or 3 weeks before.
So she was having these Braxton Hicks.
Before that.
Before we looked at even changing our flights to go earlier.
That was a gamble. We didn't.
Yeah.
They kept saying, well, Virgin was just like, you've got business class tickets and stuff. So, and because of the type of fare, you have to pay basically another $10,000. And we were just like, unless she goes into labour, we won't go.
Yeah.
So we just held back, and we left on the original
And then he was
day.
late.
And then he was late.
So what do you do? Do you because how long do you have to?
We did nothing.
But how long do you have to be in the country for? Like, is it 3 months or something?
No. That's why we chose
were there
America
3
too.
weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were there 3 weeks in total.
Okay.
So 2 weeks.
So what did
before
you
he
stay at
was
a
born.
hotel or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And we didn't make her go to LA for the birth. She lives in Fresno,
We went
which
there.
is regional town in California. So we went there. There's not a lot to do.
There's Yosemite. We
okay.
didn't even go to that.
You can't. You go all the way up to
Up there,
Yosemite.
no phone coverage. It's like, I bet you he will come.
Yes.
And we won't have any contact. So we stayed within that vicinity of that hotel.
Went to a few shopping malls. We watched a lot of TV.
The whole-
just sat in
until
our
he
Just
was
like
born.
bide your time. Yeah.
And then when he was born, it was like, we've got to do this, and this. We can't do anything now.
well, let's tell me about the birth.
Textbook.
So leading up to the birth though, we went to a lot of her medical. She let us come along.
Oh, that's nice.
And then on the day that he was due, she had an appointment, and they even said, "You're having low level contractions," but she couldn't feel them, but on the monitor that you could see them.
Yes.
So they said, "Oh, he'll probably come in a day or two," and then they said, "If he's not," this was on the Wednesday, "if he's not here by Sunday, we'll induce you." And then by Saturday, we're like, he's he's not going to come on his own. They're going to be induced. So we decided we'd go out for a really nice dinner. We're getting ready.
You two?
And his
my
mum.
mum came along.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so we had his mum there as well with us. We were just about to walk out the door and she rang and she said, "Oh, my water's just broke."
But remember, it took us ages to figure out where we were going to. Normally, every other night, we're going to go here. We'll go here for dinner. We'll go that night, that Saturday. We were debating where we're going to go. Do we want to go there? Nah. Do we want to go there? And it was a long process. And we made our mind up. We were just about to walk out the door and the phone rang, mate.
It was like, okay, we'll meet
way.
at the
So
hospital.
do you tell him that now that if Dustin, you ruined our dinner plans back when we were...
No, because we didn't care.
He could care less.
We were just like, oh my God, thank God he's coming.
Yeah.
And this was at 7:00 at night. We met her at the hospital and he was born 3 hours later. So
wow.
it was a really fast.
Yeah.
Emotional?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
She let, obviously we were in the room when he was born. She let his mum come into the room. So
that's
she
nice.
kicked her own mum out
Oh, right.
because they could
can
only
have
have
so
3
many.
people in the room. So she kicked her own mum out
Yeah.
so that Joyce could come in
Yes.
and be part of the birth.
Wow.
And it was, she was holding on and we're waiting for her obstetrician to come. And she was holding him in.
Yes.
And and her obstetrician turned up and she was an elder, like she's probably in her 60s.
Yeah.
African American lady, funny. She comes in with her Ugg boots on.
She was at a dinner or something, wasn't she? She
I don't know.
went home, quickly changed, and she said, "I was out."
She has
for
her
dinner."
Ugg boots on. She's just like, "So we're having a baby today." yeah. We're having, and she's like,
sure are.
"What are you waiting for?" She goes, "Go, let's open up and let him out." It was like this. I'm like,
And it was, and that was how it was like.
and she basically, I don't know, she
didn't do much.
She didn't do anything. She just sat there and just watched her push him out. And eventually I think she did a few things and pulled him out and that was it. It was done. It was the quickest birth I'd ever seen.
Wow.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now you're with child.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that like?
It was amazing.
It was
A bit surreal.
crazy.
Yeah.
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 It's like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
I cried. His mum cried.
I didn't.
You didn't cry?
No.
No, his statue over there. I think he was in shock.
Yeah, let's say he was in shock. But you had 2 cries in there. Yeah.
I had a cry when we got back.
Oh, when I got home.
Landed in Melbourne.
Yeah.
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 Well, that was for different reasons, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because it was hard to get home.
Yep.
Yeah. Tell me
Well,
about that.
yeah, it was.
Everything went so smoothly, and we knew what we were doing. We crossed the T's and dotted our I's. We knew exactly what we were doing. But I don't know, the information that we got, it was just this passport that we were worried about now, yeah?
The issue was the birth certificate. So the research I had done was that birth certificates can be issued within 2 to 3 days after birth.
Not in Fresno.
But not in Fresno. And they don't, there's no priority. Like you can't pay extra. You can't bribe them.
And so it just has to go through the process.
They go, it can be 1 to 2 weeks. And we're like, what? We're due on a flight in 10 days.
Yes. We don't have that.
We don't have that time and we still got to get his passport, right? So then I started making calls to the passport
American passport
office.
Yeah.
And I said, look, this is the situation. And actually, just the day after Dustin was born, my dad rang me and told me that he had terminal cancer and had a couple of months to live. So I said to them, my dad is dying and we need to get back to Australia. And I said, I can get him to send you a letter from his doctor to prove that. I've spoken to the hospital. The hospital will give a letter to say that he was born, but we do not have his birth certificate. And they said, well, you need a birth certificate. Like,
who are we talking to? The passport.
The
office?
passport.
On the phone.
Yeah.
and he said, look, you have to come and you have to tell this story in person because I can't give you an answer over the phone. You have to actually talk to the passport officer.
Yeah.
And I'm just someone in a call center. So we jumped on we jumped on we were going to get a train, but of course the train stopped because they were doing works on the thing. So we got half a train and then we had to get on a bus.
Bus.
What is it? Planes, trains,
Trains and automobiles. Well, it was because it was a taxi. Then
So
it
we
was
get
a
on this
train,
coach for 3 hours and it was just like bump, 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 bump all the way along. We got this newborn baby. He's 2 days old in a little carrier. And then I'm trying to change nappies on this bus, and it was just
Oh, you can't make it up, guys. No, not make it up.
Can't.
Yeah.
So we finally got to LA. We went to the passport office the next day.
Whole day.
We got there by the night before, and we lined up. There was a huge line of mostly Chinese with all of their babies, because it's a big. China uses American surrogacy a lot. Okay. And everyone was there for their passport for their baby. Yeah. And I thought they're not gonna care about our story. Yeah. They see these things happen every day. Anyway, we got to the line, we got our number, then we had to go into another line, and we went up to the thing and
the counter, the first counter.
The first, I don't even want to talk about the first counter. He said, no, you won't. He said, I can't make the decision, but here's your number anyway, but I doubt it. So we went up and we were ready to put on the waterworks and stuff. And the guy just looked at the documents we had, which was the letter. And I even had on my phone ready to show him, from my dad, didn't even want to see it. He just goes, the best I can do, guys, is give you a 12-month temporary passport.
Give me it.
We just I wanted to jump through.
And mind you, we were sitting there. We were under the last to get served. We were sitting there. There was 7 or 8 agents behind the counter. They looked like they'd been there for ages. They knew what to do. This guy we got.
Oh, he looked like he was 17.
I was like, this guy's first day on the job. Anyway, so he did leave his seat for a little bit and come back and we're going, oh, we're screwed.
You're screwed, yeah.
We're screwed.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't know. He's going to ask. We're screwed.
But when you asked before, who can I suck off? I was going to offer him.
You were ready and willing.
I was ready and willing, yeah. We all were, even his mum, I think.
We'll do whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes, because she wanted to get back for Christmas.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. Yeah,
we weren't going to be back for Christmas if it didn't happen.
Yeah, right. And so you got it approved.
Yep.
You got on the plane,
passport.
and hence why you kissed the ground.
So they went back to. So I had to wait a couple more hours. They went back to the hotel.
Yeah.
And I waited. And I'm thinking, am I going to get this today? Because our plans were to get back on that bus tomorrow and that train and that car. To get back to Fresno. Because all that stuff was in Fresno.
To get all the way back to Fresno to catch a flight back to LA.
That's another thing we didn't think of. I mean, to be quite honest, it didn't cost us much to get there.
But we wanted to see Sitlali before we wanted.
Yeah, that was the only reason. Otherwise, we probably would have flown out, stuffed the
for sure
flight from there and just went out.
Sitlali was the name of our surrogate.
Yeah.
So we wanted.
So you wanted to say goodbye.
Say
Well,
goodbye
yeah,
to
we
her
wanted to have
anyway.
a lunch. We went out for lunch, and anyway, but yeah. So I waited for a couple of hours before I got this thing, and I thought I'm not going to get it. I'm nearly the last one sitting in there, and it's like I'm not going to get it. They're going to say their printing machine is broken, not working because it's 5 o'clock, or come back tomorrow. It's like,
And you just left. Why did you leave?
because that little guy.
We had the baby, so
so
we
I didn't want him there any longer than he had to be.
So we took him back for a nap and all that, and get some formula into
So
him.
you were just wishing and praying, hopefully.
He comes back with this book, this passport, and I did. Thank God.
Yeah. He was,
What a story.
but I actually, we probably should tell a bit about, I don't know whether you want to cover this off under what recommendations. But, but the discharge process out of the hospital.
Yeah. That was that was before we took him home. Yeah.
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 So with the,
Is that almost like a clearance?
No. So he was nothing wrong with him. So he stayed in for one day, 2 nights technically, because he was born at 10:30 at night.
Yeah.
And so he was discharged, but I had done research. I'd spoken to someone who'd done this recently, and she told me, she said, take physical cash and insist on paying.
Because hospital bill wasn't
discharge.
part of what we paid for. Because I don't know how long you're going to stay in there for.
Yeah. So as soon as the baby is born, he becomes your care. He's not covered by any health insurance or anything.
Right, yeah.
So everything is out of pocket for us. And she said, if you pay them cash, you can basically negotiate probably half of the bill.
The bill.
Wow.
So I knew what amount to offer them because she told me.
Yes.
So when I was like doing the discharge, signing him out, I said, I want to pay the bill. And she said, oh, no, we'll send that to you. And I said, no, I want to pay it now. I've got cash. And she goes, well, I don't think they've even prepared it. And I said, well, can you get it done for us now? We'll wait. So she was on the phone for about 20 minutes and she's like, oh, they don't know. They've got to do things and blah, blah. And I said, look, I will pay you $5,000 right now.
US.
US. And she said, okay.
Versus what do you think it would have been?
Probably at least double.
At least.
Maybe 12.
And then you've got to think about the exchange rate at the time too that they put it in.
Yes.
They're going to wait till it's probably the lowest, so we pay more. Like when they do that. And then we would have paid more at the end of it as well. Once we transferred it.
Yeah, because we paid on card.
Yeah.
We had cash.
And so what did she say? Yeah, okay.
She said, yeah. she goes, just so you know, though, you are getting a bargain. And I go,
yeah,
I know. That's why I insisted.
But you have to wonder if they're willing to take cash on the spot, there would be a portion of those invoices that they send out that don't get paid.
100%.
Which is why they're negotiable
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I think they would you wouldn't be allowed back in the country.
Oh, yeah. They would get it eventually. And like you say, you'd never be able to go back to that country. And how does it work for Dustin? He got dual citizenship?
He's got 3.
Oh, he's got 3.
So he's got his European one as well.
Oh, amazing.
So he's got American now.
Yeah.
He's got American first, and then it was Australia, and then it was... He's got his Maltese passport. He's a citizen of Malta as well now.
Oh, nice.
So he's got the globe. Well, nearly the globe. So, yeah.
Just need Africa.
It's when he's older, when you say the world is your oyster,
well,
it literally is, Dustin.
is, yeah.
I love to travel. We love to travel. So we thought before, and the rules are changing all the time on that, yeah? So we thought,
we may want to go. I'm next. So now that we've been married for 5 years, so I've put in my application for citizenship.
To where? Malta?
To
for
Malta.
for the EU. Yeah.
He's already got his, so he's a dual citizen as well. And
I've got dual British. It means nothing now.
Because they exited.
Yeah. Guys, we're coming towards the end, but there's a fun fact. Tell me that fun fact.
So the fun fact is we weren't supposed to, but we did make contact with the egg donor. So we went via the agency. We said, look, we're open to it. If she is, here's our details. And so she sent us an email. So we keep in contact once a year.
Why do you reckon that was important to you?
Oh, look, it just...
I don't know.
It just felt like it was the right thing. Like
same reason why he woke up that day and said that he wanted to have a kid?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. But
it worked out for the good.
So for the first couple of years, we just exchanged. I gave her photos of Dustin's progress, and also we needed to. Later on, we decided to donate all of our embryos to someone else, and we needed her sign off for that.
Right.
And then I said to her one day, are you in touch with anyone else? Because I know you've donated a few times. And she said, oh, yeah, one other couple. And I said, oh, would they be, could you ask them if they'd be interested in, corresponding?
Yeah.
At this point in time, I'm imagining that they're an American couple.
Yeah, for sure.
And she said, yeah, sure. No problems. I'll contact them. And she says they've got twin boys. So she put us in touch, and it was just via email. And they said, she said, when would you like to meet? And I said, when we're in the States next, I'm happy to. She goes, oh, no, we're in Australia. And I said, really? And she goes, yeah. She goes, my husband's American, and the boys were born in LA. We lived in LA, but we moved over during COVID because she goes, I got sick of America and it's too dangerous and blah, blah, blah. She goes, I missed Australia. So we moved back to
Because she was
Australia.
originally from Adelaide. She was born
in
Adelaide. Yeah, she used to be Adelaide.
And I said, okay. So then I said to Darren, I go, they're in Australia somewhere. And anyway, then she said, she goes, why don't we meet, on Tuesday? And I go, where are you? And she goes, we live in Brighton. You're in Melbourne too, aren't you? And I was like, oh my God.
That was scary.
Yes, for sure.
And then within a few days we met. And in my mind, because we were still in COVID and stuff and masks and all that, and I just said to Darren, my biggest fear is that we hate them.
Yeah.
Like, hate the parents, but then feel obligated that we have to spend time with them. And, what if they're anti-vaxxers, anti-maskers, just people,
just anything,
And we met them and we slowly built a relationship. And now we actually spend time with the parents without the kids. Darren's going to a concert with the mother on Tuesday,
night.
Boney M.
Isn't that
She
amazing?
bought him tickets for his
birthday.
50th birthday.
Wow. What? That is
Crazy.
just
Yeah, it is.
crazy.
It is.
And the boys, we get them together as often
It's similar
as we
age?
can. Yeah, so they were
Less
born
than a year apart.
Yeah. So they turn 5 in September, and Dustin turns 6 in December. So so 10 months.
So another fun fact on that, they were looking our egg
donor at the same time.
The same time as us, but we got in first. So then they had to wait.
Okay, so
They had to
went
wait
there.
another 3 months.
They have to wait and
she
to
can-
redonate. You have to wait for 3
That
months. Yeah.
is such a
So she's got a bit of a bee in her bonnet about that.
Yeah. and so what do the boys know each other as?
Brothers.
Brothers.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, they're half brothers.
Yeah, but
we just
you've
say
not
brothers.
just said, like you said, brothers.
Brothers, yeah.
Wow.
So Dustin talks about his brothers and people get confused.
Yeah, so you got to explain.
And what is the egg? Obviously, the egg donor knows all of this. Like
She thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, well, it is hilarious. It's everything.
Yeah. And then on top of that, the embryos redonated to a lovely lesbian couple in Texas.
Yes.
One was actually, she's retired now, but she was the first female general in the Air Force. Wow. 4-star general. Yeah. And the other one is a teacher who teaches 3 to 6 months of the year in London, like Oxford. One of those fancy English colleges. And then they live in Texas. They also have a holiday house in Florida. Yeah. But they've just had a little girl. She's just turned 1, and they send us lots and lots of photos of her, and she looks almost identical to Dustin, like just a little bit of
she's a
feminine.
She's a full sister.
She's a full sibling, yeah. And a full biological child of one of us.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. That's even. And you'll keep in touch?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They wanted us to be there for the birth.
Yeah.
Wow.
She was born in Hawaii, so they used the surrogate who lived in Hawaii, and they said, "Oh, Hawaii's not that far. Come for the birth." And actually,
I've heard of worse destinations. to pop over to.
I had just been made redundant, so I said, "We've got no money. I'm sorry." But the mother of the twin boys, she was actually going to Hawaii to see family, and so she caught up with them there, and she got to meet
because her 2 boys.
They're half.
And her are half, yeah?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Guys, this is, first of all, I want to know, is there any advice that you would give to anyone contemplating doing surrogacy?
We sort of touched on it really get to, like, if you're going to do it, or if you're going to do it in America, obviously really know, because every county is different. So don't go off of state, but wherever the baby's going to be born, really get to know their timeframes around issuing birth certificates.
I mean, that's not something you would even think of, right? You would just think, what's the state?
Well,
How does the state operate?
They go by like suburb.
Yeah. Oh,
Their
right.
counties is like our suburb, right?
Yeah.
Well, no.
They're much
counties-
bigger. They make up that state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
But just become familiar with how they operate.
So I would almost recommend that you contact the county that the baby will be born in.
Yes.
Their birth, deaths and marriages department.
Yeah.
And say, what is the maximum, time frame that it takes to issue.
Even like create a little checklist. Have we checked? What the processing time is.
Yeah.
Tick. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Let's wrap it up because I found this really interesting in terms of, Dustin's siblings and the creation and having siblings having a child that was created in Texas through the embryos and then the fascinating, I just find it so bizarre, living in a suburb over.
Run over from here.
How would you describe a rainbow family? What are you telling Dustin about, does he know that he comes from a rainbow family? What's the definition on that?
Well, from the start, from when he could understand, like, because sometimes, especially when he was like 3 or 4, he's got a mummy and he's got a daddy. I've only got 2 daddies. So we try to explain.
Well, what did you say?
Every family is different.
Every family
is different. Yeah. But now he's getting a bit defensive, like with it. Even if some little kid just says, "Oh, are they your 2 daddies?" Straight away, it comes out of his mouth. Yes, they are my 2 daddies. Yes, that's my family.
What of it?
Like, like we've got the books, those books that we made him.
So I wrote a book, storybook.
Life storybook?
Yeah, but using photos of his egg donor, his surrogate, and then it's called Dustin's Journey.
Yes.
And
my kids have got something similar.
Yeah.
So he's still young, but a bit more. As time goes on, we show him a bit more. Yeah.
Yes.
We've really
love that.
Basically, ever since he could understand, we've just talked about it so much that to him,
it's normal.
He doesn't really know much different. Occasionally he'll ask, his mum, who's his grandmother, if he can call her mum. Because he hears, we've got a niece and a nephew, and he hears them calling Darren's sister mum. He hears Darren call his mum,
Yeah.
And I think he just sort of gets
so beautiful.
But she says, I'm not your mum, I'm your nanny, but
yeah, we like to set him straight. He needs to be. He needs to be set straight.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, Stephen's sister, who's super close with our kids, they went through a phase as well where they said, "Auntie Emma, can we call you mum?"
Yeah.
She said, "You can call me mum if you want to call me mum." We didn't have a problem with that.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to sort of
confuse.
Yeah. I don't want to know if that's the right word or not. I don't know.
Because he was at one stage calling Catherine, who's Darren's sister, instead of auntie, he was calling her mum.
Yeah.
That was when he was very young.
Very young.
He was probably only like 2 at the time. And she kept correcting him.
Yeah. But I think they were doing that because we were doing that. If we weren't correcting him, they probably wouldn't either.
Oh, yeah.
They probably wouldn't get, what it is, whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I just think I'm pretty much black or white. Can you still say that? I don't know. Yeah, it's either this way or that way. This way. I don't know. That's how I think. I just don't want any more.
That's how you navigate it. There's no
And
rule.
for me to explain to him to go down, like if he's saying mum and then I've got to explain it, sometimes I don't know if I'm explaining it the right way.
What we do though is he doesn't miss out on anything. So Mother's Day comes around, if it's an event at his school, he takes either his auntie or his grandmother. Yeah. He buys them gifts to give on Mother's Day.
We do the exact same.
But all these, especially school and stuff, they're very open to it's Mother's Day, but it's also Carers Day.
Yes.
So I could have gone with him on that mother. There's no stigma about it. It's so cool. Yeah.
Love it.
Not like it used to be. So yeah.
So I think to us, like a rainbow family is just it's
us.
Not necessarily
It's us.
gay parents. I think it's any type of family that is perhaps not just the traditional mum and dad.
Yes, yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Guys, thanks so much for coming and chatting with me today.
Thank you for having us.
I think your story is brilliant.
It was a journey.
Yeah, it was. Thank you so much.
Thank you.